Hey everyone, Backpack Hack here coming at you with another trail tip. And I'm really enjoying my time out here in the little slice of heaven on earth, the backcountry of the Rocky Mountains. And when I was here last year, I did a video comparing the Dometic to a Reliance water jug. And I've pretty much given up on the Reliance simply because I can't get the spout to line up so it drains properly and not leak. So I'm just going to relegate those to emergency backup use. They're going to get put in my prep closet and they're going to be used for backup. And I was going to use the Dometic, but the problem I have with it is it's not very big. I don't have the 5, 6, 7 gallon storage with this that I do with the Reliance. So when I was traveling home from my trip last year, I got to thinking, I wonder if there is a collapsible or foldable water jug. And I resigned myself to thinking, well, if there was one, it probably is so cheap that it isn't going to last. But I did find something, and that is the WaterStorageCube. And I found these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. And I actually bought 4 of them, and they have options to buy 1, 2, or 4. And amazingly, buying 2 pair was cheaper than buying 4 by a few dollars, at least at the time I ordered them. So I went ahead and ordered 4. I thought I would put 2 in back for emergency storage, use 1 for car camping, and I'm going to use another one for some tests. And we'll get into those tests a little bit later on. The pros that I have for this is they are very lightweight. Obviously, they're very compact. And although they're not suitable for backpacking, for a small group, I could actually see a group of several people, either on a foot or animal backcountry trip. I could see somebody taking one of these to serve the 6 or 8 or 10 or however many people that are in the party. It would be part of the community gear. I could see that. A couple of the other advantages is the spigot actually turns 360 degrees independent of the mounting, just like the Dometic, which is the problem I've had with the Reliance, is I just couldn't get it lined up to drain properly. Like any other water jug, as the water level lowers, you get slower and slower flow out of it, and you have to start tipping it. However, since this is flexible, you can actually push on the top. Once it gets down to the low water level, you can actually push on the top to increase the air pressure to get the water to come out faster. The cons that I found on this trip so far is, as it collapses, and it will collapse as you use the water out of it, it tends to create a pocket up here on the top. Rainwater and dew can collect there, which means dead bugs, leaves, debris, pine needles can pile up on there. However, you can remove that bubble and bring it back to its original cube shape simply by tipping it on its back, opening up the spigot, and letting air back in and setting it back down. As it has no air intake like the Dometic and the Reliance, the water flow tends to be different coming out of the spigot. It is noticeably different. So here's a video of those side by side so you can see the difference. One thing I will warn you about is when you sit this on a table, a hard-sided water jug like this, you can extend out quite a ways from the table. If you try to do that with the water cube, it will slowly roll off the table. Which got me thinking, that would be a good torture test. So what would happen if you actually let it roll off the table? Let's find out. And for the final test, we're going to roll this water cube down about 25 foot of probably a 30-degree angle rocky trail section. I made no attempt to clean out any sharp rocks or anything like that. It's full of rocks and gravel and tree trunks. And Jay and I have both decided that it's, at least, if nothing else, the spigot is not going to survive the trip. This isn't something that you're probably going to do with your water cube, but what I did was I purchased one specifically for this test, And let's go ahead and see what happens here. I'm going to give the signal to Jay to push it, and I'll try to catch it as it comes down to the bottom so it doesn't take out the camera. So hopefully we get a good take on this. Are you ready? Roll 'em. And it appears to have survived. I'm not seeing any leaks. Looks like a little dirt got into the spigot, but other than that, I don't see anything wrong with it besides a little dust and dirt on it. I am very, very well impressed with that. So let's go back to the table and wrap this video up. Okay folks, before I do the wrap up of the table, I just want to do an update to the original video files that I took when I was out in the sticks. And that is, Jay and I called it, the spigot did not survive. You can see a little bit of bend here and a break right here. Hopefully it'll show up in the camera, but this is ready to snap right off. What happened was, the next morning I got up, had breakfast, went to do my dishes, turned the water on, did my dishes, and I went to turn it off. I kept turning and turning and turning this handle, and the water would not shut off. I finally had to stand the container up on its back side to keep from losing all the water. And this is what I found, is this has broken right across here. It obviously wasn't apparent when it took the trip down the hill. So I just thought I'd throw this in there before I got to the end of the video to show you that it did not, at least the spigot, survive the trip. I will order a couple more so I can use that container because it was not damaged at all. It's just the spigot did not, and I'll have an extra spigot as well. But I thought I'd throw that out there. Again, this isn't to dissuade you from getting one of these. You aren't going to be rolling it down a trail like we did, but I thought that would be a great torture test to show you how durable they were. So I'll go ahead and send you back to the table when I'm out in the Rockies, and we'll wrap this video up. Before I wrap this video up, there's one more pro that I thought of that I didn't mention at the beginning. And that is, unlike the Dometic and the Reliance, you can simply look at the WaterStorageCube and see how full it is. Anywhere in camp I can see it, I can tell how full it is. Something you simply cannot do with the Dometic unless you either turn the water on or pick it up. The Reliance, you can get the sun to shine through it just right and get an idea of how full it is, or if you have a very bright flashlight, you can shine it through and tell how full it is. But with the WaterStorageCube, it's transparent. You can immediately see how full it is. So in conclusion, I think my quest for a better water jug than the Reliance has come to fruition. I do like the Dometic. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to continue to use it. It may be something that isn't going to get used all the time as much as this, but I think these are going to become my standard water jugs for my camping trips for car camping. Link is in the description below from Amazon on where you can buy these. This is Backpack Hack coming at you with this trail tip. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Be safe out there, and I'll see you out on the trail.